Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Warped, a completely unnecessary Star Trek podcast, where we do unasked-for audio commentary of Star Trek episodes. Here are your hosts, Sean.
Get me to my regular doctor. They're familiar with my weird, things.
Matt.
It's completely bonkers, and I didn't understand what was happening like 80% of the time, but I loved it.
Jake.
His abs unfurled.
Philippe.
I don't have honor! What's the point? I want to live and sing and dance.
Erin.
This show is so good, we're just like watching it.
Min Win.
Would you fuck, marry, or kill me?
All of that.
I would do all three. All three in that order.
And May.
Dear Diary, I kissed an android today, and he told me he felt nothing.
Make it so.
And unfortunately, we have no May or Min today. The M's have all left us, well, except for Matt.
Yeah.
Wow.
The point
And
is,
I spell Philippe with an M.
the
so
point is,
you are
there's
just
too
so
many
wrong.
M's.
We're old school today, Sean. It's the middle of the afternoon.
I know, it's a before dark.
It's still sunny. Well, it's not sunny, but it's still light out.
Yep. And
What are we doing?
This is kind of the OG crew, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's the
It is.
original we're actually the LA Marathon is going on today. And instead of doing that, we're in a smoke-filled room watching Star Trek.
Yeah.
So which is better, guys?
Don't you feel better? Oh, this is way better.
We made the obviously correct choice.
yeah. Instead, we're doing.
You guys can say I've done both, and now I can.
Now, I have an objective opinion about this
exactly.
based on having
I've done the
both.
research.
Yeah, exactly.
We compromised, and we're doing a Star Trek marathon.
We're gonna watch it at
But we're gonna do it at double time.
No,
No, that's not what I signed up for. You move that decimal point. You move that decimal point.
Today we are
That is
watching
mean.
season 5, episode 19. We're almost done with season 5, guys. We're so close. 8 episodes left.
Look at Dana holding his own head in episode 26.
We're getting slowly towards Mark Twain.
It's Mark Twain. Mark Twain is coming, you guys. Run.
Oh my gosh.
I love how worked up Mac is.
I watched a Cheers last night where Woody is playing Mark Twain in a local community theater production. So Woody Harrelson spends the entire episode in Mark Twain drag,
Sure does.
doing his Mark Twain voice, and I've never been angrier at an episode of Cheers. I hate
Did it come out of the blue? You're like, I don't remember this one. My brain shut it out.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
He could have played anyone else.
I am pretty sure my brain had completely deleted the
Just
memory.
wiped it.
Because I've seen every single Cheers,
Yeah.
And I had no the second he walked into the bar in the full outfit, I was like, no.
No, he's not.
Oh.
A nightmare.
Oh, God.
And then he fucking romances an old lady
Yeah, he
who comes
does.
into the bar and doesn't know that he's not old.
Nice.
Just like Mark Twain.
So then he
would've.
just continues to wear the Mark
Yep.
Twain drag
Yep.
through the whole episode, even though the play that he was in is over.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're not there yet.
we're not there. Well, thank God.
We
Thank
still
God.
got it.
We
And there's
push
some-
that off for another
Fortunately, we got some good episodes in between here.
day. Number
and then.
19 and
This
The
one
First
is
Duty.
not one of them. We're watching season 5, episode 19, The First Duty. Our good friend Wesley Crusher is back.
You know what? Are you ready for a hot take from a known Wesley hater?
Yeah, I'm ready.
sure.
I think I'm ready.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is a good Wesley episode.
It is a good Wesley.
This is Wesley's best episode.
Because it's more nuanced than some
Well,
of his
they
other.
probably were like, come back, right? Because he wasn't really doing much with them.
This is really my only.
Even better
This is
than
the only good Wesley episode.
better than the game or whatever that one was.
It
called.
is even better than the game, although he is pretty charming.
It's
with
like when Tasha Yar
Ashley
came back
Judd.
and it was good.
Better than when it was
God
normal.
damn it.
No, it was.
Sorry, I just accidentally
happened?
punched out.
No, it's not your fault, Matt. It's the app and the
I had to
shitty
find
user
the episode
interface.
again.
Oh no.
Anyway, it's
Careful,
a real.
Jake, we
this
might
is a
not get
really
that Prime
good,
money.
This is a good episode for Wesley. It's a nice kind of it's a nice way to check in with Wesley. But sorry, I'm trying to hit pause. There we go. It's a nice way to check in on Wesley, and it's almost like a send off, even though they already did a Wesley send off episode. But it's
a more appropriate send off.
Yeah, even though it's not, he'll be back. But
Yes, he actually comes back one more time.
But it's a good story for him. Picard gets to be very Picardy and lecture him in his Picardy way, which is always fun.
Sipping on Picardy.
I am sipping on some Picardy today. Yeah. That's what they should have called the wine instead of Chateau Picard.
Yeah,
Picard.
They should have just called it Picardy.
Yeah,
ain't no party.
Ain't no party like a Picardy party.
We have fun here.
There's the title of the episode for this week, Sean.
Nobody would say
there are 45 minutes and 27 seconds on the clock, and I am going to punch the triangle in 3, 2, 1, punch.
First duty.
Buffering.
I think if Min was here, he would ask, do you guys remember your first duty?
Yeah, he would. He would definitely make the duty joke.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers their first duty.
And he would say, really? Because I feel
I feel like I do kind of remember it.
Yeah.
Okay,
My mom saved it.
Picard just told his first lie. He just said, I'm looking forward to seeing Wesley Crusher, which is just blatantly untrue.
Said no one ever.
Said no one ever.
Said no, not
Even
even
his
Beverly.
mom.
Yeah. That insufferable
Maybe
know-it-all.
As much as Data can be happy to see anybody.
So who watched? I watched.
I did not watch.
You didn't?
I didn't, no.
You usually do. Okay,
I do, yeah.
interesting.
I watched.
Yeah.
I did not.
That's it. Just me and Sean. Wow, that's old school too.
We went
We're going back.
from the last episode.
This whole episode is starting to feel like a real throwback to season 1.
Yeah.
Comfy.
One of the episode that we just got released out to the world was the one where everyone but Matt.
Everyone did watch the episode.
Everyone but Matt had watched the episode.
And you were like, what?
We were like, did we set a record this time? And then Philippe was cranky the whole damn episode, so we forbade him from ever watching the episodes again.
So do you want a quick what's happening since you three of the 5 of us didn't watch the episode?
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, what's happening?
They are on their way. Is the fish there? Yes,
Yep.
it
Yeah, you
is.
see him.
Whoa.
They are on their way to Earth. Picard is supposed to be giving the commencement speech at Starfleet Academy's graduation ceremonies. And Wesley, who is part of this team of elite jet fighter pilots, basically, he and his crew of cadets have gotten into an accident. That's what that woman, she's the superintendent of the academy. She's called Jean-Luc to tell him that there has been an accident. And you're supposed to think, dun dun dun, is Wesley dead? But she's as soon as the opening credits are over, you're going to find out he's fine. Go ahead, Sean, give us a stat.
We're watching season 5, episode 19, The First Duty. Original air date March.
Is that funny now?
It's impossible to say without.
I think of Min, and I think Min has a Lee.
You have to say it with a really hard T. You have to be like duty.
Yeah.
March 28th, 1992. Wesley Crusher's team has an accident at Starfleet Academy. Picard offers to help a Starfleet investigation as to what happened and begins to suspect they are hiding something.
Is it a duty accident?
Yeah, someone made a duty in their starship.
It's all tied together.
Aaron, what do you think the IMDb rating of this episode is?
A duty in a onesie?
Oh, we're rating.
I don't know. You guys made it sound like it's not the best episode. I'm using
No, I said it's the best. I said it's Wesley's best episode.
But before that, you were kind of like, this is not one of them. Somebody was like,
no, I don't know. Maybe somebody did say that.
not.
I think this episode is good. It's next week's that I think is terrible.
okay. All right. I'm just trying to Think
Put
of
together the
numbers.
clues.
7-1.
Boy, that's a good guess. That would have been right about where I was too. I'll say 7-3.
That's what I would have guessed. 7-5.
Check out this wig, Matt.
Yeah, I know. She looks good.
I'll say
Somebody needs to go low.
I'll go 6-8.
7-8.
Wow.
Really?
That's good.
Which surprises me being a Wesley episode.
Yeah.
That the
That
nerds
seemed
haven't
high,
made
yeah.
it so low, but
Are the nerds lukewarm on him or negative?
They hated him back in the day. I feel like the opinion on him has come back around.
maybe there's
Will Wheaton. People like Will.
People like Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton-sons.
The Wheaton-sons.
Yeah.
It's real.
Then-
But certainly at the time, everyone hated Wesley. Like, the nerddom loved to shit on Wesley.
Yeah.
People had parties when he left the show. They were like, "Oh, that's," you know,
Damn.
he was not a well-liked character, which is funny considering the original conception for Wesley way back. Gene's original idea was to have a character that
was relatable.
Boys would identify
they
with
didn't wanna
and
see
be like,
themselves up
I
there.
too am a nerdy kid. I would love to live on the Enterprise and be like
he was kind of a
Wesley.
Mary Sue. Like
He was a little bit of a Mary Sue as
Yeah.
part of the
Everyone was like, I'm not that nerdy.
Yeah. He was too precious.
Did we talk about Celebrity Jeopardy already? He was on the latest season of Celebrity Jeopardy.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
How did he do?
He did pretty well.
He seems like a smart guy.
Did he go down against Cheech Marin? Because that guy is just gonna
Cheech. No.
He'll destroy you.
The
Yeah,
guy who
he's
played
like famously the best Celebrity Jeopardy winner of all time, right?
Him and Andy Richter, man,
Yeah.
they're like,
Patton Oswalt destroyed in this last
Yeah.
one.
oh, did he?
Yeah.
he did well.
I can see that.
He and the person that took it was
People who-
the guy that plays Coach Beard on
On Last Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. Yeah, he's pretty good. And I think it was Michael Cera that also
Oh, really?
made it in.
Interesting.
Trying to remember.
I
who
wouldn't have
else.
thought that. This guy's got a confounded look on his face the entire episode.
Okay, so quick update of what's going on. They were practicing a maneuver that they were going to do at the graduation ceremony the next day. So they were flying their jets, and there was an accident, and one of the cadets died. So they're holding an inquiry. That's the father of the cadet who died. And they are holding an inquiry to try and get to the bottom of what caused the accident. And they've decided to go ahead with this commencement, even though there's been this accident and a student was killed. They're going to do this inquiry to try and get to the bottom of it.
Where are they?
They are on Earth at Starfleet Academy, which is in San Francisco.
Oh, right.
So they're in San Francisco, right up the road from us.
Right.
Jean-Luc, this
in
is
the old Twitter
I
headquarters.
think one of the reasons I like this episode so much is that it's a very good Patrick Stewart episode. I really like Picard in this episode. I also just think it's funny that they have retconned Jean-Luc's relationship with Wesley
to be more of a
paternal.
like paternal because Jean-Luc was always irritated by Wesley about 90% of the time, but suddenly now he has this like strong emotional connection to Wesley. That's never been demonstrated before, really.
Quick corrections corner. It was actually Ike Barinholtz was the third finalist in this season's Celebrity Jeopardy, and he actually won.
Oh, okay.
He won. So
I don't know who that is.
Ike Barinholtz? Yeah, he's a comedy actor who's in lots of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So is this the first introduction of the...
Look at Wesley's 1992 hair.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the real Nick Carter.
yeah.
Yep.
It's a few years before Nick Carter, but it's got that vibe.
Heading in that direction.
You know what
You
I
could be
mean?
on a
Like
folder
the-
with that shit.
Yeah.
Look at the buzz back.
Will Wheaton was in those magazines. Like,
Yeah.
he was in like Tiger Beat and those kinds of
Yeah.
things back in the day. So this guy is the captain of Wesley's like flying team. He was also involved in the
It
accident.
looks like the character that acts.
This is Robert Duncan McNeil.
It is.
who right now he's playing a character called Nicholas Locarno.
Becomes on Paris.
He will
right?
become Tom Paris on
I was like, dude,
Voyager.
this guy looks like Tom Paris.
Yeah.
He becomes Tom, and Tom Paris, the character, was actually based on this character. So much so it was supposed to be the same character. They changed the name so that they didn't have to pay royalties to the writers of this episode.
Yeah, Tom Paris is just a repaint job of this character, basically.
They made him.
They have the exact same backstory.
Yeah, they made him like he's sort of villainous in this episode, and Tom Paris is not as villainous.
What year will I meet Tom Paris?
No, you've got a few still.
A couple of years, probably not too long. Not too
Voyager.
Far. Voyager.
When you get to
Voyager ends right after this, and there's only 2 more seasons of this, so
you've got a while.
You got time.
All right, so I'm not
Because
going to
there's a lot of
And really,
Deep Space Nine in there too.
there's no reason to.
There's no
reason to be waiting for Tom Paris.
You forget how much our schedule is about to slow down once Deep Space Nine starts, and we're trying to watch both of them at the same time.
Oh, no.
Voyager is 5 years away from where we're sitting right now, at least.
Oh, I don't think so.
You just put a gloom over this entire proceeding.
Wow.
Oh,
3 years at the most.
Did somebody just stop
Hey,
this
Ray
man's flowers?
Walston.
Yes, he just found a guy like lounging in the flower bed, which I don't know. Why was that guy lounging in the flower bed like that?
yeah.
Oh, I keep forgetting. No one else watched this.
Yeah.
Are you all bewildered?
A little bit. But that's
bewildered.
my general nature.
So Picard is basically
Boothby.
just hanging around,
He's having a nostalgia tour.
right? Because he's just waiting for this commencement. This is the gardener at Starfleet Academy, who apparently has been the gardener since Jean-Luc was a cadet. Because they know each other from when Jean-Luc was a cadet,
And which was 40 years ago in the timeline.
Right. So his name is Boothby. We've heard about Boothby before. They've mentioned him in earlier episodes. This is the first time we actually get to meet Boothby.
Yeah. He's going to have his own ship
Did you ever watch
season?
Picket Fences?
Yeah, I was going to say he was on Picket Fences.
Yeah, that's Ray Walston from Picket Fences.
sure.
Yeah,
and
he was
my
great.
favorite Martian.
Popeye, the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. Oh, definitely know the actor. I recognize the actor of the who loses their son in the accident.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. He's that guy.
That guy, his name's Ed Lauder.
He's always
and
playing
he
a
was-
father.
He was
That's
on.
just-
He's been on every
He's got
television
such a
show
face.
you've ever heard
Yeah,
of.
he's good at that. Like,
I looked
pinched
him
intensity
up.
face.
Yeah, he's always
been
like this
on-
concerned father of something that's.
Yeah, he's been in a million things.
I've seen him in something not that long ago. I would say.
It might have been a Murder She Wrote. He was on that show. He was on every show.
So,
I'm not even going to bother.
one
naming
of the
them. Think of the
IM
show, and he was on it.
One of the IMDb trivia about this was, I guess, the original
Temptation
script
Island?
for this episode had Wesley committing suicide in front of Picard.
No thanks.
That doesn't
So
sound believable.
That was a pitch for this?
yeah, the original script. That's how it ended.
Yeah, that was like.
I don't believe
Who
that.
did Will
Talk
Wheaton
about
wanted to
tone
like?
change.
I'm off this show.
You cannot trust IMDb trivia.
Oh yeah, that sounds like who put that into the writers' room when it was going to be like, this is hey guys, this is
Hey,
my
guys.
ending.
What if Wesley kills himself in front of Picard?
Yeah,
So when I was looking up Ed Lauder yesterday, not yesterday, a few minutes ago, his IMDb lists something that just really made me laugh. It's called The Boy Who Drank Too Much.
Nice.
It's a TV movie from 1980.
Hell yes.
it's like
That's
an
our
after
next
school,
movie.
movie.
Yeah, no, but it was in prime time.
Yeah.
It was The Boy Who Drank Too Much. It was
What
about
year?
teenage alcoholism.
Oh,
It was
shit.
1980.
Wow.
Let me
that
read
looks
you. Let me
much
read you
older.
the ad copy from. I guess this would have been in like the newspaper or the TV guide. Buff and Billy. They both liked sports. They both liked girls. Except Buff was an alcoholic, and only Billy could save him. The Boy Who Drank Too Much.
There you go.
Scott Baio played the alcoholic boy.
Oh,
He
hell
had
yes.
the titular role
Why
of
are
the
we
boy
not
who drank
watching
too
this
much.
right now?
Because it's got Scott Baio in it, and he's a douchebag.
But it also
Good
has
in the
Ed,
80s.
it also
1980s
has
Scott Baio would be amazing to watch.
Everybody in the 80s was a douchebag, though.
Yeah.
it also has Ed Lauder, which is why we were talking about
Yeah.
it. So now they're talking about the accident.
Yeah.
And these are the other people in Wesley's crew.
Mm-hmm.
And we are starting to get the sense that they are maybe not being entirely forthcoming about what
Those
happened.
pizza rolls are getting into trouble.
They got totally Tostino'd, right?
Ed Lauder's actually really good in this episode. He has a good scene
God, his face.
with Wesley.
He's great. He's
Is he in a horror movie I watched recently?
Probably.
He's got a horror face.
You guys know what else was on March 30th, 1992 when this episode aired?
90s.
The Boy Who Drank Too Much. They did a reshow.
The sequel.
The remake
If only.
with Will Wheaton.
Yeah.
America's Funniest Home Videos.
It was the 64th Academy Awards.
Wow.
It was the
90.
92 Oscars for the movies of 91. Who can guess the winners?
Let's see,
Ooh,
92
91.
would have been Silence of the Lambs.
It's Silence of the Lambs.
that won
Silence of the Lambs
everything.
wins 5.
Everything.
The big 5.
Big Five.
Wow.
Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress,
Screenplay.
and Best Adapted Screenplay.
And let's see, who won Best Supporting Actor and Actress?
It's Best Supporting Actor is a very 1992-ish movie. The winner gave a very, very famous acceptance speech. He did something in his acceptance speech.
Roberto Benigni.
Oh no, it's City Slickers. It's Jack Palance.
Jack Palance and City
The one arm,
He did
one arm
push-ups
push-ups
on stage.
and said he craps bigger than Billy Crystal.
Yeah, that's right.
That's funny.
Best Supporting Actress was
remember
Mercedes Rule for The Fisher
Oh,
King.
Fisher King, sure.
That's a great movie. That was what was on. Thelma and Louise won Best Original Screenplay. Silence of the
That's
Lambs won Best
amazing.
Adapted.
Could you imagine a movie like Thelma and Louise winning a screenplay Oscar these days?
Not now. So that's what else was on.
That's all.
Beauty and the Beast won Best Original Song
For Beauty and the Beast.
for Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. Be Our Guest and Belle
We're also nominated.
The other two song nominees, Everything I Do It For You from Robin Hood.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sure.
And When You're Alone from Hook, which I can't even hear
even-
in my head.
yeah.
I don't even remember that song.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I just
John
watched
Williams.
that movie like a few months ago.
You watched Hook?
I watched Hook. I showed it to my kids.
What did they? How was it? I haven't seen it in a long time.
I enjoyed
I think
it.
we had to take breaks.
We had to take breaks. They were. It was not
It's long.
It's a kind of a long movie. I don't know.
What I remember about Hook is that the first 20 minutes when he's still in London is kind of like the most effective
Yes.
part.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because it's kind of spooky and you're like, what's going on? And he shoots it very Spielberg-y, you know?
Yeah.
I remember really liking the first chunk.
I don't really care for the part with he's with the Lost Boys for some reasons I can't put my finger on, but I like Hook. Hook
Hook and Smee are fun.
I don't like Julia Roberts' wig.
Julia Roberts.
She's not good
Yeah.
in it either.
No,
I don't think she's not right for that part.
no.
Yeah.
Because Tinkerbell's mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in the cartoon, she tries to kill Wendy
Yeah.
because she's so jealous.
She's more, she's
like
more
that.
frantic. She's more like Harley Quinn.
She's not
a little
America's
bit.
sweetheart.
Yeah,
you know?
she's more of a Harley Quinn character. Just really
Edgy.
into.
I like it.
I did like the part when the one kid puts his hands on Robin Williams' face and says, "There you are,
There you
Peter."
are. Yeah.
That moment kind of works.
There's good parts in it.
I think so,
When
too.
Rufio's death is a good part.
I like Rufio too. I think,
Rufio is good. Well, yeah. Well, that's why the death works because of the
but
character.
there's some parts with it.
I'm gonna quote my mother in 1992. That movie failed because Neverland was brown.
Yeah.
That was my mother's pet theory about Hook.
It kind of
was that nobody likes Neverland was brown. It was boring to look at.
I also thought it suffers from like 90s, like I'm gonna make 90s cool skateboardy kind of things.
Sure.
Which I kind of felt like.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
There's like parts where Rufio comes
where
in.
they're like rollerblading around Neverland.
They're like skateboards. It just felt like
I've suppressed that. You suppressed Mark Twain on Cheers. I suppressed
They have like
rollerblading around Neverland.
surfer type things.
There is a kind of extreme
like X Games kind of vibe.
It kind of like, they all look like post-apocalyptic. You know, maybe that's kind of leaning into it.
There's a little bit Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah, exactly. Right, and I don't know.
They have like they're like befeathered. And
well, they have like this weird like wicker armor that they wear.
Yeah. That's cool.
I guess they didn't want him to be like Native American.
Dustin Hoffman's really good in that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The
like,
Hook parts.
The Hook and Smee part is great.
So the story that the cadets have told is that the kid who died was having like emotional troubles, and his erratic flying is what caused the accident. So basically, they're blaming the dead kid,
right?
Yep.
For
good plan.
For what's happening.
Blame the one person who can't defend himself. It's a tried and true defense.
And Wesley is the one who's like, this is wrong, you guys. I don't really think we should be telling lies about what we did.
Well, the other ones are the two women are kind of, but they just fall in line so quickly because they don't want to get in trouble.
They just they both go with Paris, Paris.
They don't want to ruin their. They're starting to believe it. They're starting to believe the lie.
Yeah.
But the problem is their story isn't hanging together.
Well, and there's visual proof of certain things.
Right. And Picard is like Picard's like Spidey sense is going off, and he's like, something's not right about this.
Yeah. And
so he's ordered Geordi and Data to like do their thing and try and figure it out.
I mean, you know, if you have a 2012,
which is just an excuse for Geordi and Data to be in this
it knows
episode.
everything you do and forever.
Well,
so
I think,
I think a Ghost Vance aircraft like that's going to know exactly what happened.
Riker and Troy and Worf are only in the very first scene on the bridge.
They come up with some BS for that, Philippe, where they're like, the records were damaged and like the logs are.
I see.
So we have an imperfect record of what happened.
It's more reliant on the testimony,
which is why they're sort of getting away with telling this story. There's no hard evidence really to disprove it.
Aaron, a question about the new uniforms. You see
these are the cadet version of Starfleet uniforms, so the colors are flipped.
What do you think of the design of these uniforms? The all black with just the color.
I liked it especially when he was standing next to Picard because
the contrast.
They're flipped. Yeah.
Well, in I hate to.
You better get used to it.
Spoiler alert. Those are the outfits for Deep Space Nine
and Voyager.
Oh, do they do it? It is the Voyager.
It becomes the default uniform. Even the next gen crew has it.
Do they at some point in time
in the movies?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Maybe they like having the red next to their skin,
closer
like
to the face.
And like all the
colors.
So it's
everyone looks good
red
in
and blue and gold.
I just
depending on who they are.
I just think it's a little
shoulders.
I just think it's a little boring because it makes the whole rest of the outfit is black.
Yeah.
So I kind of like the OG.
Yeah.
With the way
it looks. I mean, I know that they're not onesies, but it makes it look like they've gone back to the one piece.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it is two pieces, but the
dark,
black just blends together. That it looks like.
I like what he has on. I like that one.
Yeah,
Wesley looks good in this episode. Like,
I think this is the best look of any of the.
What you're talking about? The guy
what he's wearing.
Yeah.
That's the
that's the Data style.
That's it. They somehow incorporated the Star Trek Federation swoosh thing into the whole thing.
Right
somehow.
into the design of the color.
With it,
so this is Ed Lauder's big scene in this episode, and he's very good in it. You think he's there, to
cast
to be mean to him or accuse him of lying or whatever. But he's not. That's not it at all. What he's basically there is to say that he's apologizing to Wesley because he feels bad that his son, caused this accident, which just makes Wesley feel worse, right?
His dad's like
he's already feeling guilt about this lie that they're telling, and now the dad has come to say, "I completely believe you, and I'm sorry, my son, fucked up."
Yeah.
So they're telling the lie because they don't want to get in trouble?
Yep.
Yeah. What you're going to find out in a few minutes is that they were doing an illegal maneuver. It's a maneuver.
Yes.
Goethe. Wake up. I've invented a maneuver. They were practicing this special flyby thing that they were going to do at the ceremony.
For the Super Bowl, yeah.
Right.
And, but it's banned because in the past it had killed people. So Starfleet forbids doing it. So they were doing something that they were not supposed to be doing, and that's what caused the accident. And because that maneuver is illegal, that's why they're lying, because they don't want to get in trouble for doing this thing they weren't supposed to be doing.
So it's got to be 100% where they shot that planet with the naked jogging people.
Oh, yeah, probably. Whatever botanical garden or that is.
Yeah, that's why I was like, where are they?
It's the stock shot they always use for San Francisco Starfleet.
Yeah.
They use that shot all the time. We will see Boothby again. He shows up in Voyager.
The Tillman Water Reclamation Plant and Japanese Gardens.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We've talked about it. It's a water reclamation plant.
And
we've talked about that before.
Also used as the campus for Bill and Ted University in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
It looks future world.
Yeah.
Early 90s future world.
Right, early 90s.
Yeah, the future of the...
The business park.
Yeah.
So Wesley's giving his testimony. What he doesn't know, but he's about to find out, is we replaced the coffee he usually drinks with Folgers crystals.
Oh my God. Folgers dilithium crystals.
I don't know why that just...
Yeah, that's great.
I guess because they always would say, what they don't know is...
Right.
Yeah.
What Wesley doesn't know is they have proof that he's lying, and they're about to spring it on him right now.
Oh my God, he's gonna be getting the one that's called
So
out.
he has told the cover story. And now this Vulcan motherfucker is like, you can't lie to a Vulcan.
Yeah. You will describe a Jaeger loop.
This guy, he's like the Perry Mason of this episode, because he's like, I am about to destroy you on cross-examination.
It's funny because they're like doing this for some kind of flyover out in space, not really visible from the ground.
Well, they were practicing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the plan was they would do it where you could see it, or it was at least on a screen or something.
Yeah.
They got lots of screens in the future.
There are a lot of screens.
Nobody watches TV.
There are a lot of screens in the present.
But there's lots of screens.
Yeah.
No screenee.
So now they're like, hey, look.
We found a video.
We found the Zapruder film.
Random satellite off the coast of Saturn.
It clearly shows you going back and to the left.
That's not the formation you said you were in, is it, Wesley? Bum, bum, bum.
They CSI'd that shit. They zoomed in.
They enhance. That guy, you didn't hear it, but that guy literally does say, like, enlarge sector 3B.
Yeah. I thought he did some kind of Winslow sound effect.
I wish that was like one thing the Vulcans were really good at, was sound effects.
And they're like,
logic and sound effects. That's what the Vulcan people are known for.
Well, I'm going to take the turbo lift.
as Descartes once said.
Yeah.
Nice.
So they caught him in a lie.
Yeah.
And they asked him if he could explain the discrepancy, and he basically like took the fifth. He was like, I have nothing else to say.
Faked a seizure.
Meanwhile, Beverly's like, obviously you're telling the truth because you're my son.
My beautiful baby boy.
And my hair is especially poofy.
Yeah, what's going on there?
You cannot lie to this
It
hair.
looked good earlier in the episode. The wig is shifted.
It's a little
it's
poofy
way
in
off
front.
course.
There's a
The gravitational
It
pull.
looks like she's got a tumor on the right side
It's a
of her
little
head.
poofy. So she's basically saying to him, look, obviously, my precious angel, you're telling the truth.
Yeah.
So we have to get to the bottom of this. And I'm going to go speak to the admiral.
Yeah,
she's
Mom-
basically saying she's going to like Karen her way
Yeah,
to the
Mama's gonna make this go
superintendent's
away.
I'll
office
take care of it.
Yeah.
and get in there and use her clout or whatever to
Yeah.
get Wesley off.
Yeah.
And Wesley's basically like, do not get
Mom!
involved. Do not get involved in this.
I will sleep with anybody on this board if it.
It's gonna Felicity Huffman the fuck out of this shit.
Yeah.
That's right.
Poor Felicity Huffman.
Poor Felicity. That's
You could have at least used
She was a scapegoat.
Lori
man.
Laughlin as the reference.
She'll be okay.
Yeah.
She's fine.
Boothby, tell me, what do you think of all this?
So he's got a very
Folksy.
it's a classic kind of late era Ray Winston performance, right? Where it's
I'm
like
just a folksy
he's
old
like
man.
I'm a grouchy truth teller is what I am.
I see these cadets come and go, and they're all the same.
I garden plants and I dole out wisdom.
These cadets these
Boothby.
days.
Boothby's not even my real name. It's a title.
Right. I am the Boothby of Starfleet Academy. Emeritus.
It gets handed down from Grumpy Gardner. You are now the Boothby.
You are the Boothby.
Someday, Picard.
Someday my child will be the Boothby. And then his child after that.
I come from a long line of Boothbys. We all garden and dole out wisdom.
Yep.
We're all born 85 years old.
Oh.
How do you think he's stayed here all this time when his job is completely obsolete?
Right.
Just pure ordinariness.
We could just warp all the plans.
Meanwhile, let's get the rest of the cast involved.
They gotta have something. Yeah.
We gotta bail our boy out.
We're paying them. We might as well put them in the episode.
Jordy, what do you got?
Basically, they're saying they were doing something weird with the gas tanks on the ships, and Picard, who was a rebellious youth himself, he figures out, oh, I know what they were trying to do, and then he goes and yells at Wesley, which is my favorite part.
It's a pretty great scene.
It's great. Picard really Picards it up. Like, he starts talking about the first duty, and he really gets to go at it. Plus, it feels like Picard getting all of his pent up anger he's had for 6 years about Wesley all out at once.
Yeah.
Because he's basically like, I never liked you. I just tolerated you because I'm in love with
Do you
your
think
mother.
this is Patrick Stewart's opinion of Will Wheaton coming out, or
No, I
It's all
think
based
everybody
in
loved
character.
Will Wheaton in real life.
not everyone? There were
I mean,
a lot of people who.
No, I
hated
mean
his
on the
guts.
show. I'm sure all of these people like Will Wheaton.
They were trying to ignite that plasma. Oh man.
Dun dun dun.
He knows what they were doing, and
John
he's
Luke's
not,
figured it out.
and he's not happy about it either.
All right, here we go.
He's done this
He's
maneuver.
going to tell
a bunch
Wesley.
of-
All right, you
So
tell
one
the
of
truth, or I will.
Right. So one of the things we didn't really say is that Picard, in his talk with Boothby, in sort of implies that he got in some trouble when he was at the academy, and that Boothby helped him out.
Yeah.
Boy, Boothby's everywhere.
Boothby buried a body in the garden is what Boothby did. He's like, nobody will know what's under my geranium.
Boothby has a lot of power, man.
Yeah, that's right. He knows where the bodies are buried.
So the point being that you can screw up when you're young and still grow up to be Jean-Luc Picard, right? That's kind of the message they're saying.
The
here
pinnacle
is
of humanity.
Right, the greatest human being who has ever lived.
Yes. There's some good close-ups of
He
the
looks
man's
amazing,
face,
man.
Look at that.
Look at him.
Look at that face. It's just all the feels in
And
one
you
face.
can tell he's really angry at Wesley, but he's trying to keep his cool because he's trying to be a professional. But secretly, he's like, "You little fuck."
Being French with a British accent and all.
Right.
Got to keep it together.
He's like, "I never liked you. And now I like you even less."
The difference between me and you is I would have pulled it off and not killed anybody.
Right. I wouldn't have killed anybody.
Yeah.
My Colvord starburst would have been impeccable.
Yeah.
That's what they were caught doing, Aaron. They were doing a Colvord starburst,
which has been illegal for 100 years.
Mm-hmm. Here comes some Jean-Lucing.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna Jean-Luc right now.
Luke him from orbit, the only way to be sure.
The best part of me bailing you out here is how big you'll owe me afterwards.
That's exactly right.
Love it.
He's calling him out.
They attempted a maneuver.
They did.
Colvord? Is it Colvord?
I think it's Colvord. It's like Kolvoor.
Yes. Colvord.
Colvord.
Must be named after a Swedish guy.
Yeah, they sell Colvord at IKEA.
Yeah.
Yes,
I have a Colvord sofa.
Yeah.
I put that together.
Yeah.
Colvord.
It's 5
It's
people.
much better than the Stuckstock.
Yeah.
It comes with 24 screws and it takes 19 to build it. At least I hope.
Yeah.
Because I had 6 left over. I don't know.
Your math is bad there, son, but we'll get on with it.
Yeah.
I figured these were extra screws they give you in case you
lose them, right?
lose one.
When you open that package, they go flying.
I counted the Allen wrench as a screw afterwards.
They'd have to give you extras, because you're bound to lose some.
The Colvord wrench, sorry.
So Jean-Luc's giving him the lecture. He's like, I know you're lying, and
you know you're lying.
And you know you're lying.
You don't deserve to wear that uniform.
So is he just a follower for the guy? Is he into this leader? He's under
Not
the leader's
really.
spell?
He's just not sure what to do. I think he's just, not,
I think he would tell the truth if everybody else wouldn't get
he
punished.
doesn't want to hurt his team.
well, and also the captain, the not Paris, that guy. The backstory. What Boothby tells him is they worship him. They are all
the whole Starfleet, the entire Academy worships him.
So he kind of has them all like under his sway a little bit.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because he's supposed to be like the hot shit of the Academy.
Wow. And he still goes to this guy and tells him, like, before going forward, he's
like, look, they figured it out. And he's like, fuck it. They got no proof. Deny.
Yeah, so his because he's like, they think they know, but they can't prove they know. So if you maintain the lie, they just will have no choice but to accept it, even though everyone in the room will know we're lying.
Right.
They won't be able to do anything about it.
They can't prove it, so we'll get out.
And we'll get away with it. But
and
Wesley just got talked to by Jean-Luc.
Yeah, that's the difference.
And a talking to by Jean-Luc will cause a crisis of conscience any day of the week.
He will get you to do anything. Look at that like primitive go board that they've got back behind Tom Paris.
It's like multiple size stones.
It's got like an Escher type stairwell aspect to it.
So Wesley's like, we have to tell the truth. And then this guy, this is when this guy kind of like reveals himself to be a bit of a asshole. Because he really lays the guilt thick on Wesley about how he wouldn't just be ruining his career, he would be ruining all of the rest of their lives as well. Which is true, but the first duty is to the truth. That's what Jean-Luc just told Wesley.
It was a good speech.
It was a really good speech.
Yeah.
His speech is really good.
Yeah. That's his
greatest superpower.
He put all his skill points in.
Kirk always
He
rolled.
put all of his skill points into persuade.
Yeah.
Kirk was always a natural 20 when it came to fights.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Picard's a natural 20 anytime he needs to give a speech.
Picard put all of his points into two-fisted overhead, punch.
Slow punches that take people down.
The two-legged drop kick.
Yeah,
He was always
and two-legged drop kick. That's where all my points go there.
Picard could kick down a Klingon warship, right? Picard could talk it to.
Kirk could kick over an 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
Picard talks the person into turning it over himself.
Seriously, guys, it would have been such an amazing maneuver if we pulled it off.
So what Paris Paris tells him is, hey, if you want to feel bad, why don't you just quit? Just drop out of Starfleet, but don't take us with you.
Yeah.
He's like, why don't you just leave if you don't want to, if you're feeling so conflicted, and then you don't have to be up here at all.
Sure.
So now she's lecturing them. She's very good too. Did you look her up, Sean? I met you and I
did
forgot.
look her up. She's just done 1,000 things.
Another one of those people. Yeah, she's great. Mm-hmm. She's a rare example of a good Starfleet admiral.
Yeah. She's not a douchebag.
She's not a douchebag or secretly a villain.
Her name is Jacqueline Brooks. She's dead.
Well,
died at the ripe age of 82 in 2013.
You love to bring up when they're dead.
She had a long life.
Yes, she did. So basically, she's saying, look. She's saying what I said a few minutes ago. We all know you're guilty. We all know you're lying. Everyone in this room thinks you're garbage for what you're doing, but we can't do anything about it. So you're gonna get off with a slap on the wrist. We're gonna put a thing in your permanent record. It's what they used to threaten you with in
a reprimand,
high school.
A formal.
This will go into your formal high school record.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until years later that I realized there is no high school. Like, your high school record does not follow you around after high school.
Who
cares if it's in my high school record?
Your record has little to no effect on your real life, and it would make you feel like it was going to be a lot more important.
The day you leave high school, your high school record is no longer relevant to your life. Wesley's confessing.
Oh, you can tell
to performing a Cool Board Starburst. I would like to taste a Cool Board Starburst.
Yeah,
I bet that's a good flavor.
Yeah.
Cool Board Starburst sounds like they're like surfing line. They're like, here's our surfing Starbursts. We've got Cool Board.
Yeah, Cool Board.
It's a fun combination of strawberry, boysenberry, and Hamargon
plasma
Javada fruit from Omega Cron 3.
Plasma Crystal Crunch. It's extreme.
Ciabatta.
So Wesley confessed.
Yeah.
And they just...
And Eric Stoltz be like,
I know he is a little stoltzy. You're right.
Yeah.
The bell had already rung, and Wesley asked.
He's like
the
a
teacher.
better looking Stoltz.
Yeah, he's
like a more conventionally
attractive.
handsome.
it's like if Eric Stoltz and Chris Pratt had a love child.
I used to date a guy who hated Eric Stoltz and called him Eric Doltz.
I love that he's like,
whenever the subject of Eric Stoltz comes
like
up,
that it came
which
up-
would not really be that often when you
Right.
think
But
about
enough to
it.
Enough time that he had a nickname for the guy.
But he loved calling him Eric Doltz. I thought that was so funny.
What was the basis for his hatred?
He just thought he
That
sucked.
thought he was
Just
a bad
hated him.
actor.
Didn't like his acting.
Eric Stoltz as Mark Twain. You guys were not watching that.
you're not in that
Didn't
one
like
man
his
show.
acting. Didn't like the way he looked. Just didn't like
Wow.
him. You know, sometimes you just don't
Sure.
like for reasons that you can't even really necessarily put your
Absolutely.
finger on. You're just like, I just have a visceral
Just the way
genetic-
Picard and early Wesley,
How-
right?
it's always how he feels about Wesley.
Yeah, just as,
I just want to punch him in the face.
Just a visceral dislike that I cannot identify.
Yeah. Boothby's digging a Wesley-shaped hole right now.
He's being grounded.
He got suspended.
Yeah.
He has to redo his senior year.
Yeah, he's got to be held back.
He was held back. That's what it was. He was held back.
And they held back people in Starfleet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of the he's like, you're gonna have. He's like, this is gonna be hard for you. But you did the right thing, and so now I kind of like you again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really, but
It's going to be really weird for Wesley to go through senior year again.
yeah, Wesley has to go through senior year again.
We're seniors again.
Yeah. He's like a perpetual senior.
What if he was happy?
Yeah.
To be, he's like, I get to do senior year again.
Yeah, King's
All right, I can kill somebody else.
King's a campus again. He's like Matthew McConaughey.
He's
All
just
these-
like, hey, they stay the same age.
Yeah.
All these
40-year-old Wesley is still a senior at the academy.
Just one more credit,
That's what
man.
they should do. They should do a Star Trek Wesley
Yeah, like a
series.
Van Wilder kind of thing.
With modern day Will Wheaton playing Wesley Crusher
Yeah, I love
in his 40th senior year
He's got like
at
some
the
kind
academy.
of. He's got like a phaser, like smoking weed. And he's like, I converted it.
Phaser into a bomb.
I grow this myself.
It's
Hey,
amazing.
Funny or
Him and-
Die of 1999.
Him and
Give me a call.
Boothby grow weed in the
Yeah,
garden.
Boothby's definitely there.
Yeah.
Boothby is
him
his-
and Boothby are smoking
Boothby
out.
Boothby is,
out in the
is his-
retirement.
is his-
The
is
Cold
his
War
partner in
Starburst is
crime.
like his famous sex move now.
Right.
Go for it. Famous sex move.
It didn't look as good as the diamond one. I'm just saying.
Oh, and they came together and they blow up their plasma streams.
Yeah, they do. So that was the first duty.
Yes,
A
it
good,
was.
a good episode.
What's
I
the
like it.
second duty?
To Boothby.
That's poop. The first duty is to the truth.
Starfleet.
Yeah.
And the second duty is
Is
to
to
poop.
poop.
The first Boothby is to.
We'll see Boothby again.
Yep. And his new apprentice groundskeeper, not Paris.
Not Paris.
Wow.
I like that episode. I think it's a good Star Trek-y episode. You know what I mean? It's like there's
What's
a
a good-
moral dilemma. What's Wesley gonna do?
I always like, generally, the Star Trek trial episodes are pretty good.
Trials are always good. Picard getting to Picard it is always good.
Plus, you get insight into Picard at what it was like at the Academy.
Right, you get a little bit of Picard backstory, which is always fun. Because they keep a lot of Picard's backstory they don't really talk about very
It's off
much.
the ship, which
Yeah.
is rare.
I have a question.
Yeah.
In one of these multiple future series, is it always going forward in time, or do they ever go back and do?
They
like,
do go back.
Picard as
It's
a
called
character?
Enterprise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I had a feeling they
Discovery.
might.
Sometime in the near 10 year, in the next decade, we'll get to Enterprise.
That was like the in between.
Well, that was the original.
So is there like a baby Picard?
No, there's no baby
They've never
Picard.
they've never done young
Next Generation.
Next Generation.
They
did young Oak Shatner because they made those Chris Pine movies.
Those are all young Kirk.
That's young Kirk era.
And now they're doing young Pike and Spock.
Yeah.
Young
Spock's on TV
good.
right now. He's good.
Yeah.
I like young Spock.
The Enterprise, that is about the original Enterprise that way before even Kirk.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's a prequel.
The first spaceship called Enterprise, basically.
Yes.
Bot Scatula.
Yes, Bot Scatula.
He's
that famous actor, Bot Scatula.
Yeah.
Well, that's sometime off into the future there.
In the future, that joke kills.
When we'll be talking about Star Trek Enterprise.
Something to look forward to.
We'll have some hot takes about the theme song, I'm sure.
Oh,
Sure.
yes.
When you listen to
Is it Dawson's Creek theme song?
It's close.
it is
Very similar.
It's
a very early 2000s TV show theme song.
It has lyrics.
Nothing to do
like
with a
it's
Star Trek theme song. It sounds like
They just went for it.
They tried something different.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
That show kind of grew on me, though, in a weird way. At first, I really, really did not care for it. And then it kind of, as all Star Trek kind of does after a while, I was like, I found myself watching it. So I enjoyed it.
I haven't seen any of that, really.
Which one are we talking about?
Enterprise.
I
Exclamation
have
point.
seen some of it, but really not all that much because I feel like I wasn't just watching a lot of television in general in the years that Enterprise was on. And also I just kind of thought it was boring, but the reputation of that show is that it gets much better as it goes along, and a lot of people are stand for that show, including Stan. Stan really likes Star Trek Enterprise.
It's once they get in sort of their overarching storylines kind of established, then it starts.
What years was that show on?
Mid 2000s.
One, it's like 2000,
early 2000s.
It's like 2002 ish.
Yeah.
It was only they only had.
I was going out a lot in the early 2000s. I was going down to the West Hollywood area.
It only had 3 seasons, right? Or 2 seasons?
4.
2 or 3 seasons.
I wasn't watching a lot of TV in 2002,
Right.
Yeah, you got more.
I remember watching. I watched like the
I was gonna
first
say, too busy getting laid.
That's true.
8 episodes or so, and then this was pre-TiVo time, so yeah.
Well, hey, I think we're done. What about that?
2001 to 2005.
Oh, really? It went that long?
Yeah, it's 4 seasons.
Wow.
Anyways, we're done. Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening. Please go to iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts to rate, review, and subscribe. Email, Twitter, Instagram. If you Google Warped the podcast, you will find everything you need to
All
know.
that stuff. If you want to talk to us, interact with us.
Yeah.
We won't respond.
Email. Hey, if I legitimately got an email from someone who listens to this podcast, I would just
I was looking at
on the
our
podcast. Although I haven't checked the email.
I was looking at our stats the other day.
So I don't know. Does anybody check the email?
Yes.
Yeah.
We get notifications. I get notifications, so we've responded to everybody.
Every time anybody's emailed us, we've always responded.
Yeah.
We should read them live on the air.
I think we have.
Some of them aren't fit to print, but
somebody binge watched or binge listened to all of our episodes.
Oh,
because
really?
in the last 30 days, every episode has at least one download,
one view.
Yeah,
nice.
Well, gosh, I want to know who that is.
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
if you're that person,
whoever is that person,
Really,
if
send us an
if
email.
you get to this episode,
Send us an
holler out
email.
to us. We're curious.
I would
We'd
love to talk to you.
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
How did you listen to the first episode and think I need to more of this? I really want to know.
100 questions. And next week we will be watching
if you missed the fact that there was no Troy and Worf in this episode, well, get ready for more Troy and Worf in the next episode.
Here's a tease. I watched it last night, and it is the worst episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Nice.
Of them all.
Wow.
Watch that, listen to that with us next week. Until then,
my name is Sean.
My name is Matt.
Jake.
Aaron.
Thank you and good night.